Good evening, everyone. Um Thank you for being here. I am Satheesh Chandran. I'm working in IBM API Connect. Uh, so, so I would like to discuss about distributed API management patterns for hybrid approaches for connected enterprises. So, in this topic, it sits on technical and also it's have some business value. So, I highlighted that this one we have discussed about different patterns and different technical aspects, but these things are really focusing on the business strategy. So, how an organization can leverage hybrid approaches to bridge their legacy systems to their modernize their applications. So, we can just start. So, this at first, why we need a hybrid approach, why we need a hybrid API management, because of that, because the API economy. So we can see that API economy is, it's not a trend, it's a really a massive market. So we can see that in a 2005 projection for a market research, it's a 10.2 billion market in the in API management. And also currently 74% of APIs it's moving on API first organizations. Earlier it was 63%. And also we can see that, and it's not about the volumes, it's about speed. Currently 63% of APIs is developing on a week, because we have lot of AI advancement is there, lot of applications is coming up. So it's about speed also. So 63% of APIs will be developed in a week time. And also in another statistics, it's 108.6 billion market is coming in 2023. These statistics are coming from market research, and also we going with the Postman survey in 2003. Because so you can see that this API market is a very massive, unstoppable, and we need to leverage this market, right? So this, we can say that hybrid API management is not a luxury one, it's a imperative one. So the enterprises can adopt this hybrid market to a competitive world. That's why we need a hybrid API management. So we can go for the agenda. This imagine a world, we have lot of applications will be there, right? Every applications, every services, every systems are communicate easily, they communicate with seamlessly, then there is no issues. Sounds perfect, right? But in the reality it's not like that. If lot of applications is coming up, lot of services are coming up, then we have a complexity will be there, this complexity explode will happen. So we can first look into what is the connectivity challenges of today's world. Then we go for the hybrid architecture. Why we need a hybrid architecture? How to bridge back lack of legacy systems with the cloud world. Then we can go for the key distributed patterns. Then we can go for the operational practices. Then we go for one case study in actions. So in the modern applications, we can see that there is lot of applications are coming up. So we have a growing complexity is there. We have applications in different world, like on-prem, some applications are in private cloud, some on SaaS, and we have IoT applications will be there, and also we have SaaS applications there. So in a modern enterprises, there is lot of applications will be there, and they all are interconnected through APIs. So there is definitely a growing complexity is there, and lot of applications will be generated each and every day. So lot of applications will be generated, and lot of connectivity needed is there. So and also we have another thing, API traffic volumes. We have growing API traffic 3000 times larger in each and every time. And also we have, yeah, then Then we can just go for the API management stuff. So in traditional approaches, what happened? In traditional approaches, we have everything is in a centralized way. So if anything is failed, then everything will fail. So it's a single point of failures are there, and also it's an every connectivity is going with a single gateway, centralized gateway. Then we have a high latency is there. And also, if we have any complaints requirement, we have a complaints requirements are there. Some geographical data is moving into one particular location. Some other complaints will be there. So in the traditional one, it was very difficult to handle that one because everything in a central gateway. So in hybrid approach, we have different gateways are there. So in one particular gateway is on edge gateway, and some gateways are in some other geographical locations, some gateways in some other locations. So we have a distributed gateways will be there. So we can avoid low latency, and we can ensure that high availability, and also we can ensure the regulatory compliances. So we can ensure that one APIs and all things are accessed on one particular geographical locations. So we can just go for the evaluation of the hybrid API management. We have an organization. In that particular organization, everything in a single deployment. So every applications is accessing data on that particular single centralized API management. We have a single deployment is there. Then we move on the multiple deployments. Something like couple of APIs will be accessed on-prem, couple of APIs will accessed on the cloud. So we segregate these things, but it's not enough, right? Because some APIs will be on-prem, some APIs on cloud. Then it will not resolve this complexity. So we have a hybrid approaches. Something like we have a cloud is there, and some on-prem data gateways are there. Then what we are doing, we deployed one APIs on-prem, and then we replicate that APIs in cloud. Then we can access this high availability. So we can solve that particular problem, but it will not manage everything, right? Then we move on the hybrid runtime. So in that particular case, we have different gateways are there. Couple of APIs will be on that particular location, couple of APIs on another location, and we set up a high availability, something like a 2D CHA or some type of setup will be there. Then we can move on the hybrid management. The hybrid management, we have a centralized management will be there. A single pane of glass will be there. So we can move on the core components of the hybrid API management system. The main thing is we have a layered architecture. At first, we have a control plane. This particular control plane manages everything. Like we have a centralized control plane is there. So in that one, we can define, configure, and we can use their policies, and all this stuff will be on the central control planes. These can consider as a brain of API management system. Then we can move on the data plane. The data plane, we can consider as muscle of the API management system. All the traffic, all the other things are running on that particular data plane. So we can deploy multiple data planes in different areas. One on-prem, one on cloud, one on edge location, and everything is connected on these backend services. So we can go for the one particular pattern that's called centralized control and distributed data plane. Here we can see that we have a cloud-based control plane. In that particular control plane, we have analytics, dev portal, and all the policies are there. We can sync that policies, and all this stuff will be another different gateways situated on-prem, some cloud-based ones. So this control plane is how all API developer portal, analytics, monitoring, policies, and all these stuff will be available on the control plane. So we have a centralized control management will be there. So another pattern we can say that edge and micro gateway patterns. So in this one, we have a unified control plane is there, and a centralized cloud gateway will be there, and it will handle the general traffic. And after that, we have a regional edge gateways will be there. These are managing the regional traffic. If you have a Kubernetes cluster or some other micro level services are there, then we can include their lightweight gateways. We can include that one. So in the globalized gateway, we can include global policies, and there our microservice level, we can include granular specific service level policies. We can include at that place. So in this hybrid world, we have a lot of gateways will be there. So we have one hidden risk is there. So these API gateway sprawl. So we have, if multiple API gateways are deployed in different areas and we are deployed without any central management, then what happen? We have inconsistent security will be there. Each of the gateways, they are included different security policies. And we have a lack of visibilities will be there because we have lot of gateways there. We don't have any centralized governance, and we have some operational overhead will happen because we have multiple gateways, multiple places we are putting in there. And also it will lead on the API sprawl. Shadow APIs will be there. We cannot able to control what are the APIs are there. So how to prevent these gateway sprawl? For preventing the gateway sprawl, we can use some standardized templates, and we can use these standardized templates for governing policies and all this stuff. And also we have a centralized security policy management will be needed. So, and also we have a automatic lifecycle management that will help to ensure all the API management have the same policies will be there. So this is the architecture. So we have a single plane of glass is there. They have control planes, governance, and centralized monitoring and governance part will be there. And we have a couple of federated gateways will be there. And if they have a hidden integration layer will be there. In that particular integration layer, we have connected with different application with different type of protocols with REST, gRPC, or any other protocols. And we have an interaction layer is there. In that particular layer, consumers can connect with the developer portal. And we have a unified securities and policies will be there. So these policies will ensure that it will govern in centralized way. So what are the problems we are arising for hybrid management systems? So we have couple of problems couple of concerns will be there. One is operational complexity. If you are integrating with the multiple gateways, so definitely they have multiple things we need to consider. There is a lot of operational things are there. We need to maintain multiple policies. We need to maintain distributed APIs, and these stuff will mean we need to handle. So to handle these things, we have a centralized control plane is needed, and also we can enable infrastructure as a code. So we can use Terraform, Kubernetes, or something like that. So infrastructure as code will helpful for resolving this particular problem. So it will enable faster deployment. The second thing is security risk. So we have multiple gateways will be there, multiple distributed environment will be there. So we have need to consider what are the security measures. So in this particular case, we have silos of securities will be coming up because we need to consider all the distributed gateways and systems. So for avoiding this concern, we need to follow a zero trust security policy. So we can adopt a zero trust security policies. We have we can create unified policies in central control plane, and also we need to provide micro segmentation for these policy management, and we can granulate your policies in your lightweight gateways. The third concern here is higher cost, because if you have deploying multiple environment, we have software licensing and infrastructure cost will be there, and there have also operational cost will be there for these distributed systems. For thinking like that, if you are going for a distributed one, so we can consider some optimized ROI, return of investments. So we need to consider resource optimizations. In this particular case, we can do some resource optimizations, and we can think like that. If you are going for a distributed environment, it will save your applications uptime. We can ensure that something like a 99.99 uptime will be there. So in long term, we can consider that hybrid API management will helpful for reducing your cost. So we can go for one case study. In that one, we have a leading bank. They need to do this particular case, something like a partner ecosystem expansion. They need to connect different partners, and also they need to modernize their legacy systems. They are using some mainframes and then need to connect it with the modern cloud-based enterprises, and also they need to ensure that their regulatory compliance. So that particular case, we need to do this digital banking resolution. So what we are doing, we have a solution is like this hybrid API connect, and with the data power gateway. The hybrid API management, the IBM API connect will provide a central control plane for managing this data, and how we have a distributed data planes in different countries. We can that before that. So before doing this strategic adoption, we have a centralized gateways there, and we have a single data center. So the single point of failures will be there. In after that, we have a distributed gateway in different countries. It will allow a central control plane, and it will have a distributed data planes will be there. And in the edge gateways, we provided in the gateways in the edge. So it will provided high throughput, so we can reduce the latency. And also we provided in the regional compliance gateways. It will ensure that this particular stuff will handle this. The implementation highlight, we have doing this API cataloging. So we categorize these APIs in different catalogs. The high value APIs will be on some catalogs, and we have a partner APIs in the another catalogs. So we have cataloging that particular APIs, and we have included a hybrid deployment will be there. In that one, we ensure that the cloud agility with on-prem control. And we have provided a developer portal. In that particular developer portal, it's a self-service developer portal is provided. Consumers can log in with that particular stuff. And we have a unified analytics will be there. So it will help to complete visibility across cloud and on-prem environments. So it will provide the business agility, and it will ensure that the scalability of the system. So these are the key takeaways. It will hybrid control plane with the distributed environment, helping agility in modern enterprises. And also we have separated the strategies is there, and we have a centralized governance will be there, and we need to ensure that we have a complete automations will be there. We can do whatever automation we can do, something like an infrastructure as code and compliance as a code. So we need to do these type of automations. And also hybrid API connect will help open architecture. So we cannot do in any vendor lock-ins type. We can plug and play. We can do this stuff. So as the end, we can say that a distributed API management strategy is essential for connected enterprises. When done is right, then it empowers teams, it empowers performance, and it will secure digital services as a business modernize. Thank you.